Okay. Hello YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. Today I will be explaining my bookmarking system to my corp mates and to really all of you. I'm just going to throw this bookmarking system out there so you can, always use it if you want to. But this is it if you want to take a quick screen cap. Feel free to edit it for future references or however you wish to. It's basically a great tool of utilization to keep you from having to tab out constantly to Pathfinder or the Pathfinder, God, to Pathfinder or wherever else. So, basically I have Pathfinder here. I'm going to head to this C2 to do some scanning because it has a high sec and a C3, and it'd be a perfect example for me to navigate and tell you all how to essentially use and utilize the bookmarking system. That way you guys can get it down pat. You can copy paste the exact method of how I do it. Um, yeah, so wasted 40 minutes in here. Jack all nothing tonight, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself. So once again, that's the bookmarking system. Feel free to screen cap that. Um, I'll copy and paste it into the comments as well, or into the details, I mean. But yeah, go ahead and move on out. Get started. Such a beautiful undock. Oof. New update is so gorgeous. Alright. And the first thing that you want to do is just immediately check and see if anything's active. So GGL, ZYE, QLD. We have QLD, ZYA, GGL. So I'm going to work with the C2 because that's the chain that it's down in Pathfinder right there. So it's over in the C. Oops, sorry, it's not the C2, it's the C3. That's probably actually the one that I was headed to, but okay. Headed to the C3, so that's the one that it's headed in. And you can see here that it's C3ZYA 304. It's a large hole, so if I check the details on it, it says that it's a large hole, unknown parts of space. I'm going to go ahead and splash through it. Alright. I already bookmarked it earlier, so that's the C2959. We'll flip back over to Pathfinder. C259. 959, sorry. Warp to it at 0. Interdiction nullifier on. And warp. Make sure I am muted. Yes, I am. I am muted on Discord. So, I'll go ahead and deafen myself as well. That way I can't really hear any of my corp mates. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and splash into the hole. I've already bookmarked the other side because it's already labeled. So, or from the previous video that I tried to record and it didn't record all of my screens that I was supposed to. So now you see that it's a attack exit, which is our breadcrumb trail, which if you go back to the corporation tab that you might have screen capped earlier, the breadcrumb trail. This is how it works. So when jumping through a wormhole, one should always leave a breadcrumb trail in the manner of a method to ensure we find our way back home. Always indicate it with a plus sign or an asterisk or symbol of your sort. I use the asterisk because it's easier from whenever I'm typing and whatnot. Some people use the plus sign. I have it as the plus sign by default. So, but it's basically marking your exit hole. So this one has already been marked as 304 from the system that it goes to, and it is a large hole, so we can tell that by holding T and clicking it. Larger ships can pass through this. It's not EOL, so it's not labeled as EOL. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open this with F9, and I'm going to find some place to just warp to, since I have my exit hole. I'm just going to warp to a moon. Yeah, there's a warp over here to this moon right fast. I'm going to drop my probes, poke myself, can't use my interdiction nullifier because it's on cooldown, so. Always to warp to something at a distance. You never want to decloak yourself, and you also never want to risk running into a bubble warping to a wormhole. So. Alright, now that those are out, we're going to go ahead and scan the exit hole, which is the automatic bookmark. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Way over there. Okay, that's why I didn't see it. Pop that up, move that over, get to scanning. Boop. boop, 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 boop. And I actually did learn this bookmarking system from PSAS, which is Phantom Space. Big shout out to you guys because you guys are fantastic. They actually live in a C4 wormhole and C5 connection and C3 connection, and they were just a little bit too anathema on T-scan here, so we're going to report that in. Channel on Discord. Okay. So now that that wormhole is scanned down, I can go ahead and start scanning the other signatures. Go ahead and hit this one. Signature POC. Scan that down. Alright, so this one's scanned. Dun, 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 dun. Still can't believe I wasted 40 minutes of my night just scanning endlessly, thinking that I was recording various screens and stuff, but I was not. That was very disappointing. Alright, so it's forgotten perimeter habitation. I'm going to go ahead and save that for my mates and sites, and we're going to continue scanning. And just for future reference, hotkeys, they are B for boy for your scan probe, so you won't have to keep hitting analyze. And V is your descan, so V for Virginia and B for boy. There's a wormhole right there for us, so I can go ahead and head over to this one whenever I scan it down properly. 4 AU, drop it to a 2 AU. Sure, it should skip that since it's a level 1. Yep. Alright. I'm only going to scan out probably 1 or 2 of these wormholes to where I can label them for you guys and tell it. Always warp to a wormhole at 100, as you've seen me just do. Pretty much the reason as to why of that in case of bubbles. So there's no bubble on my D-scan right now, just my scan probes and a Proteus. Okay. It's literally called Flying Dildo. That's pleasant. Alright, so the B274. So we can hold T. The T, that's T is in Tom. T is in Tango. So it's at the end of its natural life, and it's a high security system. Or wormhole, sorry. So we're going to save it, get it out of sight, wormholes. Now we're going to do high sec tac, the signature that it just was over here in our probe launcher, VQC. So VQC, tac, question mark, because we don't know the system that it leads to. And it is a large hull, so larger ships can pass through. TAC, LRG for large, and TAC because it is EOL. So that's perfect. Found an end of life hull, it's end of life. So we know that by being large hull and EOL. Now what we do is just go ahead and close this one out and find the next one and start scanning. I do them individually one by one. The next step, what you should actually do instead of scanning on, is go to Pathfinder, make sure that you're in the same hole that you're in, highlighted right there so you can see me, Franklin Vonalique. I'm in my Pimicus, and I'm in the C2. So you'll come down here into the signature thing. Our home hole is already scanned down that leads back to. So the 304 system it leads to and is connected to is right there. 2 of my court mates are in there, Halima and Garlic. So scroll down. We'll hit this little clipboard right here, signature recorder, paste it, update it, and now it's right there.
So I can come right here to B274 because that is the static holes. It's always going to have those right there because they're statics. This one is a C3 static and a high sec static. So that's leading to high sec. This, you could just basically leave that blank because, well, we don't know yet. Whenever I do jump through it, it'll update and it'll keep me and tell me, it's like, hey, okay, I can update this to EOL whenever the chain is there. So the high sec hole I'll populate up here and I'll right click it, show you, toggle EOL, just like so. Not actually EOL, so I'm going to go ahead and untoggle it. So moving along, we'll go ahead and start back scanning. And a good way to tell what kind of security space it leads to. This one leads to a MAR on the border cusp of a MAR, might be Galenti system. You can tell just by the coloration of the hole. So if you see a lot of gold or if it's a lot of grayish blue, it might be Caldari. Gold is MAR, red is Mimitar, the green is going to be Galenti. So that's a great way of telling. F9 to reopen my probe launch or my scanner window and go here. That and actually that big. Excuse me. There we go. Data site, relic site, lots of data in relic sites. But I don't need those. I am in the hunt for wormholes to show you guys how this operates. So as a central Sancha, I'm going to save that into sites. Corp mates if they want to come in here when it's not as hostile. Because of the Proteus and the Anathema, that's a definite killer in my opinion. Pardon me. Ruined Angel, we're going to save for the sites again. Bada bing. Okay. Save location into sites. Is there one that I did not bookmark, I thought? I did. I bookmarked it already. Okay. Go ahead and get this one because I hate the little red rings. This is a fairly easy one because there wasn't as many signatures as the last one, and there wasn't as many wormholes as the last one, so. We're going to say it's right here. Probably not, but we'll see. Nope. I was right. It was not there. Data sites, central blood. Excuse me. And then, once we get this one done, save it to sites, boom, bang, and pow.
another data site. So it might actually just be the C2 and the last signature here being the C3 that it's connected to. Pardon me for coughing and clearing my throat. A lot of allergies here this season. It's an unsecured, so we'll have rats. Just out of curiosity, these guys might actually live here. I'm gonna go and take a peek and see. Holding T to check them. I've run into these guys before. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna warp at this wormhole right here and see what it is. No other signatures, full probes. Apologies for there only being 2, but at least you guys know how to update a EOL hole and a high sec hole. So now we're gonna update a C3, no, a C2 hole. I believe. Check Pathfinder to confirm that. Yes. Yep, so we're gonna update a C2 hole. Or it could be something different. High security. So this one leads to high security as well. So I was completely wrong. So we're going to save it. Get back to wormholes right there. So high sec, it is HS. It's going to be TAC. We're going to look over into our probe menu right here. It's going to be KWH because we're 103 kilometers away from it. So KWH, TAC, question mark. We don't know what system it leads to yet. Question mark, or large. It's a large hole. So we'll save that. Always make sure it's for 2 days so that way they auto expire. We won't have to go through and clear out the bookmarks after long periods of time. And again, the reason as to why we include the large tag at the end of it is so that we know, or the other pilots know, what size wormhole it is whenever we're warping to it. That way we don't try to take a procurer or anything. We see a gas site, we come back through it, and somebody logs in and it's like, okay, cool, this site over here has a gas site. I'm going to go and huff it. They hop in their procurer, they warp to it, can't enter it because it's a small hole. So for a given example of that, I'm not talking about this one specifically. But so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and warp back to the EOL hole. I'm going to warp at 0. While in warp, I'm going to right click, hit edit location so I can have this window pulled up to where as soon as I jump through into the high sec system, I can see what it is, cross-referencing up here, and paste it down here. Well, not paste it, but type it in right here. So get rid of the question mark, get rid of my menu, land on the hole, anathema someplace. I'm just going to splash the hole. I'm going to go into a Mars space here. I know for a fact. It's dangerous going through EOL holes too because, well, I mean, you go through an EOL hole, you don't know what's there. So, and we are in, like I said, a Mars space. So, Ashokon. Type in right here. Ashokon. Hey, it's a Kikamura. That's cute. We're going to right click. We're going to save location. I'm going to do TAC, exit, TAC, SKO because that's the nearest one to me over in my probe launcher menu right there. SKO, and then we're going to do TAC. Let's see. What system was that? 959. Yep. Might get got here, but that's okay. I have multiple other things to do. Large. We're going to go ahead and just dive the hole. Alright. So I'm expecting a flycatcher to be here. That's how you basically save the exit. Now I'm going to sun. Nope, actually I'm going to warp this other high sec at 100 just to throw them off right fast.
Warp drive active.
So now that that's done, we can go back to the Pathfinder where I was at. Pull this over right fast so you guys can see it because it's not. There we go. I can just scroll over. So go into the C2 right here, the high sec that I jumped through, VKQ. That is not correct. EQC leads to high sec. Yes, okay. My bad. So Ashokon. Pretty sure that is the right one. Yes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bounce. Find me a bounce spot right fast because we got hostiles. He's wanting to chill out with the Kikamura out the hole. That's kind of interesting. Alright.
Drive active.
Going to edit this to pop it open for the other high-sec entrance. And we have to copy and paste that one in. So AWH, that's the last signature I had. We're going to go over here into Pathfinder, where we're supposed to copy and paste it. Bada bing, and paste it in. Just like so. Now I can go ahead and... That one was a K162, I believe. Pretty sure. So I'm going to warp to it at 0. Pardon me.
Warp drive active.
Second I land, I'm going to go ahead and just splash through. Yep, landing now, and we'll splash. Looks like it leads to Galinti space, so fingers crossed. Hey, I was right. Yona. So we're going to do Y-O-N-A, Yona. Love my Galinti space. Pretty. Nice, pretty green. Greenish hues. Alright, so, anyways, getting back to it. I'll right click and save exit. Exit tac is going to be, my random guess is VRX. X tac question mark, well, not question mark because we can easily tab over. This was a K162 high-sec connection. This leads to Yona. And then you'll see right here, Yona, where I'm at. Boom, leads to 959, so that's what I need to type in. 959, tac, large. It's not EOL, so we can leave it. So now people that are coming to the Yona system basically can well, that's not close to home. That's not our current one, so I don't need to share that. I was about to share the wrong one. But this is basically how you update wormholes and how you pretty well just navigate worm space. It's pretty easy. TAC is just the breadcrumb on how you get back into the wormhole. The large is just what size it is and the system that it leads to. This here will be the alphanumerics that it what it is or what class it is. I'm sorry. So it'd be like a C3 or whatever. But this is our exit hole, so this is going to be the exit. Oh. Boom. Go ahead and jump through. Never use your radial menu, by the way. Just always click and click these things. I'm just a stickler and just still do it because I don't know. Once I splash through, R934. Copy that right fast. That way I can paste it into Pathfinder. Yona. We'll go over here, we'll paste this. Update. Yes. It was a wormhole. It was, R934 because it's C2. And at least 959. And now, it's going to update the chain for me to where it has R934 and K162. And I'm still in 959. So now I can go ahead, follow the breadcrumb trail all the way back home, warp to location, and bada bing, interdiction nullifier, look it up. There are Proteuses and stuff kicking about. Don't want them to follow me in. They probably will, so on and so forth. So, I really hope this YouTube video helps you guys, but that's basically how you do it, how you classify a wormhole. You just basically figure out what wormhole class it is. Once I splash through and get back safely in the station, I'll show you the chart on Pathfinder that navigates you to the different signatures and the different classes other than the type. The type is right there, and you can pretty much use that filter down menu. There we go. And you can use the filter down menu to pretty well, find what type of wormhole it is. Like that one's a K162. So I just forgot over on the other high sec in the MAR to go ahead and copy paste that signature into it. So that's the basis of it. That is the bookmarking system. Once I splash back through and I get back in, hopefully this video will help you guys learn on navigating worm space. The sites too much doesn't matter about on saving them. They can be saved as whatever. I too much don't care.
Warp drive
It,
active.
say it is a data site, parentheses unsecured. I normally leave them alone as is because it already says unsecured in the beginning. The gas sites I also just leave I leave them alone. I won't warp to them to begin with because that'll immediately trigger the rats to spawn, because as soon as you warp to the entity, the rats will have a 10-minute timer and they'll show up within 10 minutes. And that basically kind of ruins it. Some people like to warp to it and bookmark the clouds. That way they can warp instantly to the cloud. I don't do that because of the rats, because it just kind of wastes time. It's an inefficient way of doing it. Just warp there, and then as soon as the rats spawn, warp out, reship, come back, clear the rats, go about your business. So one more time, this is the bookmarking system that we have. So if it's a C3, you just label it as a C3, the ABC, 1, 2, 3, and the medium hole. So that wormhole leads to a C3 and allows the medium ships to pass through. Very large ships has a VLRG, so that's larger ships, and then large ships can pass through this. I'll just say large ships, larger ships. So low sec, small, GET is the tag for it. Mascarin, that's the low sec system that it leads to, and it's a small hole. So breadcrumb trail, as I said, it's always +, exit, signature ID, the last 3 of the system you came from, and the wormhole size. So I came from out there in the the high sec hole. I came from 959. So I put in the high sec hole in Iona. That was exit, signature ID that it was, and then the last 3 of the system that it was leading to, which was the 959 C2, and then the wormhole size of it, which was a large hole. Basically it. It's pretty much all you have to follow, and now it's done. And the size of the wormhole there, whatever it is. Now, if a wormhole, as we've seen earlier in this video, that it's an EOL, essentially that means that it's end of life, so it's not going to stick around much longer. You just put EOL at the end, do another tag, EOL. Simple as that. So I want you guys to all like, subscribe, share. I hope this video helped you again. So yeah, station is so much better now too, by the way. Well, this is Franklin Vonalique signing off. Transmission.